Hello, my friends, and welcome back. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Russian government resigned. Putin has no government anymore. Yes, that's exactly what happened. Putin was inaugurated. He's sworn allegiance and all that on the Constitution and on the Bible, and his government quit. Well, that's the way it is. Each and every time a new president is elected and he's inaugurated, the government dissolves. There are three ways through which a government is going to be dissolved or disappear at once. Would be by voluntary, done by the government. The other one by the president. I think the other one is a circumstance between the two, but I'm going to read that to you. I have here two articles, and these guys are going to explain to us how the Russian government is formed. They changed the constitution in 2020 regarding how the government is, the Russian government is formed. Before, it was only the prime minister who was supposed to be nominated by the president, and then had to the parliament should confirm him. Now all these ministers have to be appointed or nominated by the president, and then they have to be the Duma and the Russian Senate. They have to how do you call that? Confirm them. I always have a problem finding that word. So let's read these two articles. Sputnik. Russian government resigns following Putin's inauguration. So President Vladimir Putin met with members of the government on Monday on the eve of his inauguration ceremony Tuesday. Summing up the results of the work, Mikhail Mishustin has served as Russia's prime minister since January 2020. Russia's government formally resigned on Tuesday in accordance with the established constitutional procedure for forming a new government after Vladimir Putin's inauguration for another term as president. Tuesday's constitutionally mandated government resignation is the 18th to date since 1990, with Prime Minister Mikhail Mishustin serving as Russia's head of government for over 4 years and entering the history books as the 13th Prime Minister in modern Russian history. His prime ministership has been marked by efforts to deal with a series of crises pop up. Okay, let's see. He thanked them, and Russia's basic law calls for the resignation of the government in any array of circumstances, including the inauguration of a new head of state, a voluntary decision to do so by its members, at the initiative of the president as a result of resignation of the prime minister, or in connection with a vote of no confidence by the Duma. This was the one I was missing. So basically the government can say bye-bye, we don't want that. The other one can be the president say bye-bye, and then you can have the Duma, prime minister being out, and so on. Duma Committee of Constitutional Legislation said that last month that the Russian parliament may consider the candidacy of a new prime minister as early as Wednesday if Putin sees fit. On Sunday, Russia's business media reported, citing a source, that the Duma may confirm the prime minister on May 10th and vote to approve deputy prime ministers at the plenary session on May 13th, as well as ministers on May 14th. How is the Russian government formed? So for these baboons here, and for me, because I didn't know. I knew how they elected, but I didn't know the process. I thought it was just, okay, confirmation and so on. The confirmation word came just like that. The executive power in Russia is exercised by the government under the general direction of the president. The Russian government includes the prime minister, chairman of the government, deputy prime ministers, and federal ministers. It oversees all federal executive bodies, except for those directly managed by the president. To qualify for top government positions such as prime minister, deputy prime minister, or federal minister, one must be a Russian citizen, at least 30 years old. Why do you think that's so? What if you identify as 31-year-old? Can you identify? I don't think they're so, how do you call it, progressive yet. They're not so civilized yet. And not hold citizenship or permanent residency in another country. Sounds good? Look at, these are again very, very tight guys, man. Look at Rahm Emanuel, former President Obama's chief of staff, now US ambassador to Japan. He has dual citizenship, and many like him. That's why we have here certain things. All right. Additionally, high-ranking officials are prohibited from holding foreign bank accounts or storing valuables abroad. Beautiful, don't you think? The process, if respected. The process of forming a government is defined by the Russian constitution. Oh, they have a constitution? I thought that Putin does anything he wants. Yeah, he does, you know. This is how these guys are saying. Yeah, you know, come on, they do. Really? But we don't? No, we don't. And I'm not quoting actually, that was the quote from this right here. The Prime Minister is appointed by the President following approval from the State Duma. If the proposed candidate is rejected by the Duma, the President can submit a new candidate or renominate the previous one. After 3 rejections, the President can appoint the Prime Minister without Duma's approval, and may also dissolve the Duma and call for new elections if needed. Opa, I don't like this. But hey, after 3 rejections, the President can appoint the Prime Minister without Duma's approval. Then why do you bother? I don't think that's right. And may also dissolve the Duma and call for new elections if needed. Well, I don't like this one, tell you this, but hey, that's the way they do it. Once appointed, the Prime Minister proposes the structure of the federal executive bodies for the President, unless the acting Prime Minister was dismissed by the President. The Prime Minister also submits the nominations for Deputy Prime Ministers and Federal Ministers, except those appointed directly by the President, to the Senate, to the State Duma for approval. So if they don't approve 3 times, they're going to make it anyway, too. Don't like that one. But on the other hand, you can say, well, what if the Duma tries to hold hostage the president in, having a government? Then what are you going to do then? Re-elections? What if you're going to have the same sittings, the same percentages? So that means it's more like a ceremonial way, I'm guessing. But anyway, let's read further. I don't have all the justifications here, or the why is this and why is that. If after 3 attempts to nominations are not approved and 1/3 of the government positions remain vacant, the President has the authority to dissolve the Duma. All right, next one. Russian government resigns. The legally mandated reshuffle coincides with the inauguration of Vladimir Putin as president. So we have here, and again, this time the selection of the government is expected to be swift. But the Kremlin here, a 2020 constitutional reform empowers the parliament to confirm every minister nominated by the executive branch, as opposed to approving only the prime minister. Yeah, but did you read over there? You read over here with the, right here, rejected by the Duma 3 times. We didn't like that one. But hey, as I said, I'm pretty sure there's certain things over there that I'm not aware of, and I don't have the... and even if it's so, and people say, see, Putin, the next one is gonna use the same rules. The constitution will not change for the second one. So Putin will die. That was an anticipation of, who's gonna be the next one? He's gonna die one day, don't you think? So he's gonna die nevertheless. The next one is gonna come. He's gonna take the same rules, and after he dies, if the constitution is not changed, next guy is gonna inherit the same rules. So if you want to change it, go to the democratic process, or with what a constitution state. Go over there and do it to the Duma, like here in Chess of America. Two-thirds of the Senate, I think it is, or the Congress. I'm not certain if all of it, and you change the constitution, and that's it. We have to go through constitutional You can do it, but it's strange. It's strange because these rules written in the constitutions could be ignored. Why? I'm not saying they should be ignored, but could be ignored. Imagine tomorrow, let's say you have, they say, okay, let's change the constitution and say that we, love a country so much somewhere on this planet. I'm not going to give you any hints. And we decide that we put in the constitution that we should defend that with everything we got and so on, blah, 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 blah. Don't you think that we're not going to muster, let's say, 2/3 in a... They will. And they change it. Do you agree with that? Nobody's going to ask you. Why? Because they're already in the hands of the interest that funds them, or the big, how do you call them? PACs? Not APACs, PACs. All right, so lobbies and all this garbage. Again, and they do it legally. They change the constitution legally. Why? But those guys are not your representatives. Those are just a game. It's just they pretend. Oh yeah, it's just a staged. The whole thing is just they are yours. The mass media plays the game. You are baboons. Not you. In general, these guys. Why? Where do people get mostly their information right now? I mean, even if you have people, put them in front of evidence, they will just live in denial because it's hard. It hurts. It creates discomfort. And a lot of people choose, comfort versus reality. Look at them. Go take naps, watch movies. What do? They run from reality. That's what they do. But if you come and say have an opinion, they immediately have a strong opinion on lack of knowledge. I met a lot of people like this, that they would have a debate, and during the debate, they don't have the counter arguments. Therefore, they would try to shut you up by starting insulting you. Typical baboonish toddler behavior, kindergarten. So here it is. The government resigned. He's going to appoint another one. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Stay strong, stay smart. Now, if the Russians wanted, if Sputnik and Russia Today, they are government institutions, right? If they wanted to hide how these guys are appointed and confirmed, the word came fast, all right, they wouldn't have used that in the article. They would have hidden it. Not even mentioned. It was not necessary to mention it. Especially after 3 attempts, he does it nevertheless anyway. Interesting, don't you think? So again, I don't think they're dumb. All right, so let's put it aside. There are smart people working over there. Why? I read their articles daily. Not only the Russia Today and Sputnik, but I read Ukrainska Pravda, I read New Voice of Ukraine, Kiev Independent, Ukrinform, and others. The Ukrainians, the Americans, the French, whatever, the Brits, BBC. And I see how people write articles. And yes, some of them are. So nevertheless, if this would have been a dictatorial, how should I put it, a media in the hands of the dictator, that thing would not have been over there. Or maybe you can say, or we can argue, that on the contrary, they let you know that you can't do anything, therefore they disarm you mentally. Well, I wouldn't mention that over there. Don't plant the seed in brains that don't have yet the seed planted. Therefore, don't even talk about it. I don't know how it's in the United States of America. If I know that you have to go through confirmation and you have only 2-party system, which is 1 actually. So it's even worse. So we are caught by the balls. But hey, we live in a free world, but we can't say whatever we want. No. Because mommy and daddy will tell us. And if mommy and daddy wants, they're gonna institute some policies or mandates, and your freedoms, liberties, and jerk-offs are gone. And then you realize you just have what? Temporary privileges. I'm pretty sure that happens everywhere. You know why? Because we are human beings. That's what we are. But at least let's keep a level of freedom and freedom of speech and all that. The right to bear these guys and so on. But you have to be vigilant. You can't comfort versus continuous vigilance and action. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Stay strong, stay smart, look for the truth, and be just.